This is the Apple Studio display. And yes, it's a great display, but there's one thing about it that really annoys me. The box. But before we talk about the box and why it annoys me, let's talk a little bit about the Studio display itself. So first of all, I know what you're thinking. I thought the same. Everybody thinks the same. It's really expensive. It's really expensive. In fact, it gets so expensive that you think to yourself, is this even worth it? And the answer is yes, it is worth it if you meet this certain criteria. The criteria is pretty simple. You're an Apple through and through person. You love Apple, you have all of their products, etc., and you love it when it just works, right? You're also a fantastic person that does some sort of creativity. Has to work with colors, has to work with video editing or something along those sort of lines. You need that sort of big screen experience with your MacBook or your MacBook Pro or your Mac Studio or something along those sort of lines. And the third and final thing is that you're just silly. What I mean by that is that obviously if you were to do the maths and think about buying a display, you'd think, okay, 5K, blah, blah, blah. There's many options out there, all that kind of stuff. But none of them are like the Studio display. And Apple knows this, right? They know this. That's why they stick a big price tag on it, because they know that there's nothing else like it. And that if you want it, you're going to have to pay for it. And that's why you have to be a bit silly, because you have to be really into the Apple mindset to love Apple devices so much, love the aesthetics so much, to make this purchasing decision and to buy this. So that's a couple of reasons why I like the Studio display. Now, the worst thing about it is the box. And what I mean by this is, and I will probably change my setup in a moment, but what I mean by this is essentially the box is too big. I mean, I've bought Apple stuff for a long time. And usually I keep the boxes because if you need to return it, if you want to get rid of it or anything along those sort of lines, the boxes are quite valuable. This box, now I live in a flat, right? So obviously for me, the space is not that good. But this box is so big and has so much padding inside it, which protects the Studio display in transport when you bought it and all that kind of stuff. It's so big that it can't go anywhere. It can't fit in your attic. It won't fit through the hole into the attic. It can't fit under your bed. It can't fit in the wardrobes that you have and things on those sort of lines. So you can't store this box. It's a nightmare. Because you want to keep the box just in case you want to sell it in the future, etc., but you can't store it anywhere. So what I've ended up having for the last, coming up to a month now, is a Studio display box just kind of sitting around in different rooms, acting as a coffee table, because there's nowhere else I could put it. Now, yes, I know there are solutions to this, and I'll probably end up shipping it off to a family member's that has a garage and is able to keep it there for me. But still, I just wanted to say that the worst thing about this display is the box. And that means that the rest of the display is pretty damn good. Because if the worst thing about it is the box, that means I don't regret my purchasing decision, which was quite a tough one because of the price. I don't regret using the screen as my daily driver, and I just don't regret having it in my presence, if that makes sense, because it really is truly wonderful to work on. And there's two reasons why it's wonderful to work on. The first one is it's super stylish, that it almost makes you want to work. I know that sounds crazy, but it makes you want to use it. So, if you struggle with productivity, like I sometimes do, then having something like this really kind of gives you that sort of emphasis to go and do something, to actually go and get something done. It's just a joy to use, really. It is a joy to use. So that's the Apple Studio display. Now, on the screen right now, you should see some nice little cinematic snippets of the Studio display itself, because, like I said in the video, it really is stunning. So, if you've learned anything from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. And also, if you're interested, I do these sort of videos every once in a while, so feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in another weird, wonderful, and slightly strange tech video. Thank you. Bye-bye.